Side of the van are your water systems and heating systems. Starting at the back, so we have your shower. Just goes out there. I've had the heater going for a little while now, which is also providing your hot water. It's an instant, continuous hot water system. So once the heater is kind of up to temp, you have as much hot water as your tank allows. Temperature control and pressure here. A twist is the temperature, and then up and down is the pressure.
And so to the right is cold, and to the left is hot.
That's
right
easy.
is hot.
So up and down, we gotta remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll get the hang. And really, once you get it in a position that works, you really don't need to adjust it too much. And I think I don't have the pump on at the moment, and we'll go over when you want to turn the pump on. But starting at the back, your shower system. We have one heater vent in the gear storage area to maintain temperature for the batteries and your water systems. We'll start talking a little bit about cold weather operation.
Yes.
Since this is going to be outside in freezing temperatures, if it's going to be in cold temperatures significantly below freezing, it is important to go through a winterizing process. If you're not using the van. So our clients usually, if they're using the van, if they're out on a trip, you can leave the heater on at a low temperature to kind of keep the interior above freezing. But if you're leaving it, storing it for an extended period, there's a process to just clear the plumbing so that it doesn't freeze and break anything. So starting out, I'm just going to kind of quickly point out some of the components in there. So you have your water tank. The gray water tank is underneath the vehicle, and we'll go through the dump process for that. Yeah. And then to the left here is the heating system. And so we have two vents. We have one in the gear storage area, as I mentioned, and then there's another in the galley area. And the climate control is up in the main control panel. So this is one thing, the winterizing process. It's pretty straightforward. There's two steps to it. First off, you want to just empty any water that's in the hose system. So there's going to be a little bit of residual pressure here. Yep. So just emptying a little bit there. And if it's right around freezing, the temperatures that we've had in Portland over the last couple of weeks, not really that much below freezing, but occasionally around there. For our vans, we will just do that so the system is pressurized, and then it's okay around 32 degrees. Okay. If it's going to drop considerably below that, you do want to go through this additional process. And I'll show you. I'll try to stay away here and show you the. So lots of valves. This is your dump valve if you were wanting to empty the tank entirely. But what we're looking at, excuse me, in order to winterize, pull this out. This is a pressure valve, and it has two valves on it. There's one here and another right here. That's a safety mechanism so that you just have a redundant valve so that you can make sure that it's closed and you're not going to get any air or leaking into the system. But to winterize, you do need a compressor. A fairly cheap compressor does the job. You don't need a lot of pressure. It's 60 psi that you need for the compressor. Once you connect that, you can open this valve, open the second valve there, and then you have compressed air running into the system. And then you can come back to the shower or the sink
and drain it.
Just drain it all out.
There's no water in the whole system.
Yeah, exactly. So that flushes the system with water. Make sure that if it does freeze, none of your pipes will close or anything. Just like you would do for your outdoor plumbing and all. And then once you've done that, all the water's out of the system. Close this valve again. Close that second valve again, and then your system is safe for any temperature.
Does it need to be drained once in a while, regardless of, like, if we kept the van wet and warm weather all the time? Does it need to ever be drained for any other reason?
Not really. I mean, it's a water safe. It's a potable water tank. I'm trying to think if there's any other reason why you want to drain. I mean, eventually, if you wanted fresher water in
Yeah,
the tank,
just clean water.
that's
Okay.
it. But that's just a personal preference.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you're going to show us where we fill up the tank, right?
Yep, absolutely. So that's on the outside.
Yep.
But yeah, that's really the only thing that you're going to be interacting with in the water cabinet.
Okay.
So again, just to kind of point things out, you have this is your pump.
Okay.
This is a coolant tank. So this is coolant that's running through your.
No, I can see right over here.
Okay.
So this is the coolant tank for the heating system. So it's a diesel heater. So the diesel burner, it's quite efficient using just a small amount of diesel fuel. It's been running for about half an hour this morning. Brought the van up to temperature. So the diesel heater is underneath the van, piped into your diesel tank. One thing to remember is that it does need to have at least a third of a tank of diesel in order to operate. That's so that you don't run out of fuel and can't drive because you've been running.
It will automatically not let you use it if you're below a third of a tank.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. But it's quite efficient. You know, if you had a half a tank, you could run it.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's quite
Got it. Okay.
So the heating unit is under the van. Within the cabinet is that coolant tank and the heat exchange that's giving you your hot water and also providing heat to the two fan units. So you have your water pump, the red and blue PEX lines that's delivering your hot and cold water to both the shower head and your sink. And then this is your dump valve. If you did want to completely empty your tank to refill it or a longer winterization, this red valve here, you can see that that's running down underneath the van, and that just dumps the clean water.
So
Okay.
the first thing you showed us with the compressor is to drain out the plumbing
Hoses.
pipes,
Yeah.
and then what you just showed us is to drain out the tank
The tank itself. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood.
So there's the pressurized system here, and then this is just the dump valve that empties the tank. This is a small filter in case you do have any particulate in your water tank, just to make sure that you have clean water coming into your pump and the rest of your system.
Does that need to be replaced periodically?
Really, no, unless you're working with really dirty water.
Yeah.
And then that's why it's visible there. And you'll see it's not really something that we recommend for regular servicing, unless you're really working with dirty water. It's just fine. But in that case, if it did happen, and if you saw a lot of material gathering around that mesh, it's just a matter of you'd want to empty your tank and then unscrewing this filter basket, cleaning that out.
Okay.
Yeah. So there aren't any disposal points. And then that's about it for the water side of things. Okay.
Water and heat.
Yep.
Right.
Water and heat. Yep.
You fit perfectly in
All
there.
right, thank you. I do this often, fit in these tiny spaces. That wouldn't be a bad
Slide
thing.
out the tray.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do this side
Yeah.
now?